Chapter 20. The Warrior. She felt sleepy and confused. She looked back at her hands. They were not paws. She turned her head back to the man. He looked so familiar. He stood next to his horse and unfastened from the saddle a long stick with a crossbar tied to the top. He placed it under his arm and walked toward her with a graceful yet pronounced limp in his step. She noticed that he had injured his right leg. It had a splint of 2 lengths of wood wrapped around his shin with leather straps. She let her eyes take in the full measure of him. He wore a white linen shirt and a green plaid kilt that extended to his knees. On his left hip hung a broadsword suspended from a wide brown leather strap draped diagonally from shoulder to waist. His leather boots rose up to his knees. Everything about him shuddered. He was from a large town, a city from very far away, and yet she could not remember who he was. She stilled her thoughts, and then the name came to her. Bran, she thought. It's Bran. Instinctively, she grabbed a beige dress that was hanging on the branch next to the pool and quickly dropped it over her head. As the skirt lining fell down to her knees, she noticed that it fit perfectly. Where did this dress come from? Her mind was foggy. Oh, so muddled. Then her eyes settled on his. He was smiling. Those eyes gave her calm. Within the gaze of them, her memories began to return in the way the fog disperses to reveal a pocket of clear blue sky. She had been dreaming, she realized. In her dream, she had been a cat. Dreams can be amazingly convincing upon first waking. And yet something felt as though she had not been dreaming. But it wasn't a dream. But if it wasn't a dream, then how could Bran be standing in front of her now? Then there was the matter of the woman in her dream. She had changed into a cat. She looked a lot like Bran's mother, Essentia. He stopped just in front of the opening of the trees that canopied the spring near where she had slept. "Just waking?" he asked with a grin as he bent over to peer in. He could see that the effects of sleep were still being pulled from her eyes as she continued to look over her shoulder at him, blinking. He chuckled, and then his smile relaxed into a calm appreciation of the view in front of him. He was amazed at how wild she looked. Her long, dark hair, caught by the morning breeze, moved like currents of air. Those crystal eyes drew back like teardrops, reminding him of a cat he had once seen stalking him through the forest foliage. She turned around entirely to face him, her eyes set on his. He noticed how they shined like the illumination of 2 blue flames. The image of her was a sight that always made his heart quicken and his blood warm. Not only because she was beautiful, but because she reminded him of something that was just beyond his life in the town, down in the valley. Something free. There was a quality about her that caused him to wish he could live the life she had up here in the forest. When those eyes fastened onto him, he felt like he was in another world, a country that only she and he shared. The only other time that he felt this way was when he took long walks in the forest. The forest was something untamed and beautiful.